Ladies and gentlemen, this is weird. This one's a weird one for me. I haven't done this in a while. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World Battle Entertainment, the first Draft League season, starting off with Gen 8. I'm excited. Your boy's back. You guys see the new logo on the background. If you guys watched the draft, the live stream that went up yesterday, then you guys already know the team is back. The boy is back. But if you guys don't know, hi, I'm coming back to Draft League, and it's going to be a really interesting season because I have been out of it for about a year plus, so we're gonna see what happens. I feel like I just kind of fresh reset, and with that fresh reset, I'm bringing back the OG team. The Detroit Steel Wings are coming back for WBE. We've got a revamp here on the logo. Skarmory is not in Gen 8, but G-Max Corviknight is the new logo. It's fantastic, beautiful. I'm in love with it. If you guys want to pick up a shirt, if those are available yet, but right now as I'm recording this, they're not. They are available at the time this video goes up. Pick one up so you guys can support your Detroit Steel Wings. Every Sunday we are going up. I'm not going to be doing separate team builder battle videos. What I will be doing is I'll be posting a long video where it'll have 10 to 12 minutes of team builder, 20 to 30 minutes of battle, and I'll timestamp it in the description so you guys can see, like, go to blank to watch the video, or I'll have it in there. And I also had a lot of flashy graphics for Draft League stuff last time around. I don't know if I'll still continue to have that. I'd really like to, but it's all going to come down to how much time that I have week in and week out. You guys know I'm busy. I've got multiple channels and Twitch and all that fun stuff, so there's only so much time today. But I'm going to try to get ahead of the ball here by recording my draft analysis today. So if you guys saw the team, you guys know about it. We're going to kind of talk about it. If you guys are excited, feel free to hit that subscribe button if you're new. If you guys are excited, feel free to hit that like button as well. Use code CBAD to save on your G Fuel, because that is the only way to get your G Fuel, really. But we're going to kind of go over the team here. So this season is different. Previous to Mega Pokemon and Z Crystals, we were allowed like one Mega, one Z Crystal, things like that. In this league, if you guys aren't familiar with the rules or what we're doing this season, we allowed each coach one G-Max Pokemon. The bans were Mew, Eternatus, Zacian, and Zamazenta in their respective forms. Outside of that, everything was free reign. So we had our G-Max Mons, we had S tier, we had one S tier, one A tier, 3 B tiers. Pull this up. Let me pull this up. 3 B tiers, I believe, and 4 C tiers. Yes, that's exactly what it was. So you got one G-Max Pokemon, one S tier Pokemon, one A tier Pokemon, 3 B tier, and 4 C tiers. So I'm just going to break down the team from the hierarchy, starting to where we got. I'm not going to go through the draft order. I'll kind of explain that if I go around, but the team here, I really wasn't there. There was a lot of snipe. Like the first 4 to 5 rounds, we only have so many Pokemon to work with, so there was a lot of sniping going on with 400 Pokemon. 401 technically because of you, but with 400 Pokemon and 5 of them banned, there's 396 Pokemon left to choose from, and 10 coaches. Or how many coaches do we have? How many coaches do we have? 16? How many coaches? I don't remember. 16? I think it's 16 coaches. At 10 Pokemon a pick, that's 160 viable Pokemon that we have for competitive. So we did trim it down. It is now 1 G-Max and 9 supporting Pokemon, and then we only have 10 Pokemon as opposed to the 11. So that's how that kind of played out. So we did have to keep that in mind. Regular Dynamaxing is not allowed. Our G-Max Pokemon is not required to G-Max, but it is the form that we get because different Pokemon do different things with their G-Max moves. For instance, regular Dreadnought, when going for Max Water, sets up the Rain, which allows it to activate its Swift Swim ability. G-Max Dreadnought, when it goes for its Water move, doesn't activate the Rain, but it sets up Stealth Rock. So it could have Swift Swim, but it's not going to get the Rain to support that. So there's different strokes for different folks. I'll kind of go through my team and kind of talk about why I wanted some stuff. I don't want to give too much away, because if people do their due diligence, then they're able to see why I picked that, and that might be something that's advantageous to them that week. But we're going to go on ahead and hop into it after this drink right here. So my G-Max Pokemon was G-Max Sandaconda. I wanted Corviknight. I did not get Corviknight. I actually could have gotten G-Max Corviknight. I thought it would have lasted longer than it did, but I wanted G-Max Corviknight, didn't get G-Max Corviknight. I wanted G-Max Gengar, did not get G-Max Gengar. I wanted a few things, but G-Max Sandaconda fell to me. Now, Sandaconda has 3 different abilities. It does have Sand Spit, it does have Shed Skin, and it does have the Sand Veil. Sand Veil, if Sandstorm is active, this Pokemon's evasiveness 125 times plus an immunity to Sandstorm. Automatically has an immunity to Sandstorm based off its typing, but Shed Skin does allow us to have a 33% chance at curing our status at the end of each turn, paralysis, burn, sleep, all that fun stuff. And then Sand Spit. When I get hit by an attack, I create Sandstorm. So I set up my own sand, which is really, really nice. As far as its moveset goes, well, let's talk about it from a typing standpoint. So it is pure ground. It is an electric immunity. It does provide us with a resistance to... I'm not going to do this off the top of my head because someone's going to make fun of me. It provides us with some resistances. It does give us an electric immunity here. It does give us a stealth rocker, and the stats aren't too bad. It does have base 72 HP, 107 attack, 125 defense. Does give us a little bit of a presence offensively and defensively. Speed tier is 71, so it's not the greatest. It is hitting here. Max speed Sandaconda at level 50. We're hitting 135, so we're outspeeding base level 70s if we do run max speed on this thing, but I don't know exactly what I'm gonna bring just yet. This is a whole new brand. I'm gonna spill out my guts and let you know why I did what I did, and hopefully if it makes sense, cool, and if it doesn't, flame me in the comment section. But I thought it was really, really nice. I like having an electric immunity as well because fast electric types are pretty common in Draft League format. In regards to its moveset, body press, it does have here. It's a fighting type move introduced in Gen 8, uses defense instead of attack and damage calculation. It does also pair very well handedly with coil, that is the ability to set up boosting the attack and defense. So with that base 125 defense, body press is already going to hurt, and then being able to coil and boost our own defense is going to be able to do that. Got a lot of different ground coverage moves: drill run, earth power, earthquake. Glare is really nice to have, allowing for some speed control there. It does have access to hurricane, which you're like, why? Which means it gets access to max windstream, boosting its speed by 1. So that may be something to consider. It does get rest, of course, Iron Head, Outrage, Rock Blast, Rock Slide, Stone Edge, Substitute, Zen Headbutt. It is a rock setter, which is really, really cool. It gets access to other moves like Belch. It gets access to moves like Iron Defense. It can get Last Resort. It can get Rock Tomb for more speed control. It can get Sand Tomb. It can get Snore. It can get Wrap if we're going to charge it. And then I think it's G-Max Sand Blast. Traps and damages foes, battle point scale with base moves. So the ground type move, typically when you go for a G-Max ground move, what you end up running is the defense. I believe it boosts the... I'm going to get it wrong. It boosts the defense. Max Quake. Special defense, excuse me. I always get the two mixed up because I run them both on XC Drill, but Max Quake typically does boost the special defense. In the instance of G-Max Sandblast, it doesn't boost your special defense, but what it does do is that it traps them with Sand Tomb, essentially. So you can go for Earthquake with G-Max Sandblast. You're going to be doing a lot of damage, and then you also do get residual there. It does also provide a little bit of a trapping mechanism as well with that. So that was, in my opinion, really, really good to have on there, because if we're able to get up the Sandstorm already, so if we go for, say, like a Max Rockfall, or we set up the sand with Sandstorm, or we have our Sand Spit ability here, which sets up the Sandstorm, we've already taken sand damage from that. They're going to take a G-Max Sandblast, which 140, I think, is the max for G-Max moves. And then you get the residual, not only you get the residual from that, from the Sand Tomb Sandblast damage as well. So I really like the Pokemon. You know, it doesn't have recover, it doesn't have anything like that, but it is able to rest. And really, that's all you really need at the end of the day if you do want some recovery on there. I just deleted it. Oh my gosh, that's not what I wanted at all. Help me! Sandaconda. Nope. Sanda. Can I type today? No, I can't. So let's move you here. Boop. Next up, this is our S tier, Kommo-o. So I actually picked Kommo-o as my first overall pick. The reason for that being is it actually did get access to a new move. Technically, I believe it was the Z move for it last gen, but it gave it its own signature move, which is Clangorous Soul. We lose a third of our max HP, but we do get an Omni boost. They decided that the High Council of WBE decided that Omni boosting moves were allowed. There are only 2 Pokemon this gen, I believe, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, that have access to Omni boosting moves. Kommo-o is one of them. Phalanx is another with no retreat. Kommo-o's very versatile and has an Omni boosting capability. So I was like, sure, why not? Why not? But let's start first with abilities. Kommo-o's got Dragon and Fighting typing in it as well, so it does have a weakness to Dragon. It does have a weakness to Ice. It does have a quadruple resistant or a weakness to Fairy. We do have a weakness to Psychic, and we have a weakness to Flying as well. I believe that's it. We do have a lot of resistances overall that I feel like are pretty common, so we get a little bit more defensive backbone here. We do open up our weaknesses a little bit more. the water and grass weakness that Sandaconda has, Kommo-o resists. Unfortunately, we've got a pretty big ice weakness right now, but you guys can already see from the top board of the first 5 or 6 that we're going over that we end up patching that up. But anyways, it's got 3 really cool abilities. Bulletproof makes it immune to ballistic moves, Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, Focus Blast. I need to look up all of the bulletproof moves just to remember that for my own knowledge, but bulletproof is really, really nice for things like that. Soundproof does make us immune to sound-based moves, so things like Hyper Voice, things like Boom Burst, things like Sting, things like Ditto copying and going for Clanging Scales, things along those lines, Bug Buzz, things like that. And then Overcoat makes us immune to powder moves as well as weather, so if we are able to bring our Sandaconda and Sandspit activates and sets up our Sandstorm, our Overcoat prevents us from taking Sandstorm damage, which is really nice in my opinion. But on top of that, Hail, if our opponents, I do believe a few people drafted some other weather capabilities, as well as powder moves, Sleep Powder, Poison Powder. Who runs Poison Powder? Be a man, run Toxic. But things of that nature. Sleep Powder is pretty common, Spore, things like that. But we do get that ability as well. As far as its moveset goes, let's go into its base stats really quickly here, because its base stats are really what make it attractive in my opinion. Base 75 HP and base 85 speed. 85 speed, okay, after an Omni boost, we're looking good. HP, okay. Attack through special defense, all 100 above the board. I mean, that's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. We've got access to run specially defensive, defensive, offensive, specially offensive as well. With Omni boosting, being able to up that potential, we are able to run perhaps maybe a different nature that hinders maybe one of our defensive stats to be able to attack both physically and specially, which is really nice. And look at the moveset this thing gets. Aura Sphere, Atomize, Boom Burst, Bulk Up, Clanging Scales, Close Combat, Draco Meteor, Dragon Claw, Dragon Dance, Dragon Pulse, Dragon Tail, Drain Punch, Earthquake, Fire Punch, Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, Focus Blast, Hyper Voice, Ice Punch, Iron Head, Low Kick, Outrage, Poison Jab, Rock Slide, Shadow Claw, Stealth Rock access. It can set up with Swords Dance, Superpower. It can Taunt, it can Thunder Punch, it can X-Scissor, it can Belly Drum, it can Breaking Swipe. I mean, my God, this thing has it all in my opinion. This is a great Pokemon to have in my opinion. I'm really glad that I was able to get it. It can set up a bunch of different ways. It can be incredibly versatile, and I think that's truly what you want out of an S-tier Pokemon is what's going to give you the most bang for your buck. In my opinion, that was Kommo-o. So, as you guys see, we've got a pretty solid ice weakness right now. Our A-tier Pokemon, we actually grabbed this last overall, and it came down to a gentleman's agreement. There was another coach that needed an A-tier pick, and we discussed and said, well, you have a good A-tier pick in mind. Yes, you already have a water type. I've already got Bing Bang Boom. We were able to make sure that we had Milotic, so we could kind of plan our draft a little bit more accordingly. But the Milotic patches up the ice weakness that we have. We do have a grass weakness, which is met by that Kommo-o, and we do have an electric weakness, which is met by Kommo-o and then immune by Sandaconda. So Milotic's got some really cool abilities here. The hidden ability of Milotic, I don't think I'll run, unless I'm just absolutely memeing at this point. But Marvel Scale, if we're status, our defense is 1.5 times. And then if we are competitive, our special attack gets boosted by 2. You can already see a little bit there, but we do have access to rocks. We do have access to Sticky Web on the team. And if we're able to force a defog from our opponent, being able to get a competitive boost could be very advantageous to us. But those are the 2 primary abilities there. Marvel Scale to give it a little bit more defensive backbone because its special defense is naturally higher. And then, of course, competitive for that next reason here. But as far as its stats go, it's got a juicy base HP of 95, special attack of 100, special defense of 125, and base speed of 81, which isn't bad. The defense, like I said, nobody runs physical Milotic. Don't run physical Milotic. Whoever tells you to do that is not looking out for your best interest. But defensively, we're looking really nice. Base 79 with that Marvel Scale that does increase it by a time and a half. So let's take a look at the moveset that it gets access to. It does get access. So one of the things that came into play recently in Gen 7 was when Burn got nerfed to 6% as opposed to 12%. Flame Orb Milotic with Marvel Scale became pretty common, and that does allow us for a little bit more of a defensive backbone. So, excuse me. Let's go over our team here really quickly. It gets access to Dragon Dance now if we're boosting speed. If we get a competitive boost and we go for Dragon Dance, I mean, that might be a play, but that might be a play. We'll see. I don't know. It does get access to Dragon Pulse. It does have the ability to haze opponents if they do decide to set up on us, or if there is a G-Max Pokemon that is hitting a lot of setup moves, we can go in and go for a haze. It's access to Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Life Dew. It gets Recover, so I don't know why we'd run Life Dew, but it does get access to Life Dew. It does get access to Light Screen as well. Recover, Scald, Surf, Things of that nature. Let me just go through here because I believe there's one more move. Hypnosis, if we ever do feel like running it. Icy Wind helps with speed control. Mirror Coat is fantastic. I don't think we allowed evasive moves, but it does get Muddy Water to lower accuracy. I think like Double Team and stuff. I gotta double check that, but Muddy Water does have a 30% chance to lower foe's accuracy. I think we were allowing move accurate. Like we can't run like Minimize or anything like that, but we are able to Double Team, but I think we can run Muddy Water, so I'll have to double check on that. It does get Mirror Coat nonetheless. It does also get Weather Ball in case we have the Sand Up and we go for Weather Ball, Ground type move, and Electric type. That could be some pretty cool technique there as well. But Milotic is pretty standard. Nothing really changed from it from last gen. I mean, it's a very standard Pokemon that does exactly what it needs to be. It's a bulky water that has some reliable recovery here. Next up, we've got Dhelmise. Dhelmise is super cool. Dhelmise is super cool. It's got a very interesting ability here. I'm going to take a drink. Hold on one second. Use code what? Anyways, we got Dhelmise here. It's got a very cool ability in Steelworker. What Steelworker does is same type attack bonus, Stab. That is, if you are a type, in this case, Ghost or Grass, if we go for a Ghost or Grass type move, we get an additional 50% power boost because that is a same type attack bonus. Pokemon can only have 2 of those because you can have a primary typing and a secondary typing. Dhelmise's Steelworker ability gives us the ability to get a 1.5 times boost when going for a steel type attack, meaning it essentially has 3 typings as far as offensive moves go. It doesn't get the immunities and the resistances that steel type attacks do, but it does give us a little bit more as far as attacking goes. As far as its typing goes, we are weak to fire. We do get a dark weakness. We do get a ghost weakness. We get a fire weakness. We do get an ice weakness. We get a flying weakness. So got a little bit of a flying weakness right now, but the ghost and dark, depending on the ghost move they're going for, Shadow Ball does not affect Kommo-o if it's bulletproof. The dark typing is resisted by Kommo-o. Fire and ice are both resisted by the Milotic as well, fire being resisted by the Kommo-o. So we're kind of still rolling some things around here. Everything will be kind of more concrete as you guys see the team pan out. But as far as Dhelmise goes, it's super slow. Got base 40 speed. It's not doing nothing. 131 base attack, though, is really nice, and 100 base defense also is very nice. Special attack and special defense, still pretty good for a B-tier Pokemon, in my opinion. We can definitely go over its moves here. Anchor Shot is what I feel like a lot of people think of. They think of 2 things when they think of Dhelmise. They think of Anchor Shot, and they think of Rapid Spin. So Anchor Shot is a steel type move. It prevents the target from switching out. It's a base 80 type, base 80 power move, and then we get to pair that with our Steelworker ability. Other moves that we get access to: Body Press. We've got 100 base defense, so Body Press is going to hurt. We do get Earthquake. We do get some special coverage with Energy Ball. Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon being able to be boosted by our Steelworker ability is also awesome. We do have some recovery in Giga Drain. We do have access to things like Gyro Ball and Heavy Slam. We do have access to Hex, Hydro Pump, Iron Head, Liquidation, Power Whip, Rapid Spin, Rock Slide, Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw, Sludge Wave, Surf. Switcheroo is really nice as well. If we do have like a Choice Banded Dhelmise, we can Switcheroo to cripple something with that, which is really nice. We do have access to Setup with Swords Dance. And then let me just double check here. I thought it got... Did I miss it? I thought it got... Maybe it doesn't anymore. Maybe it lost it. I thought it got access to Synthesis. Am I dumb? Oh, nope. It lost access. So we actually don't have as much reliable recovery as I thought we did on this team. For some reason, I thought I got access to Synthesis. But either way, we've got things like Giga Drain to be able to help us out here. Another Pokemon getting access to Muddy Water. It does get access to Phantom Force, which is a 2-turn charge move. Solar Beam, Solar Blade, Sunny Day, Thief, Whirlpool Wrap. It's a really solid grass type Pokemon in my opinion. For some reason, I thought it got... Either way, you'll see where we fix that little grass recovery there in a little bit. But I really like Dhelmise. It does provide us with a normal and fighting immunity, which is, in my opinion, needed. And as far as typically, if you bring a normal type Pokemon, you've got dark type coverage as well, which is resisted by our Kommo-o. And a few other Pokemon kind of handle those dark types pretty nicely, as you'll see as we get into here. Lucario. I love Lucario. I love Lucario. Lucario is fantastic. Fighting and steel typing. It's pretty frail defensively, so while it does have some immunity, or while it does have some, resistances, it does, and it technically does have a poison type immunity, but while it does have some resistances, it doesn't take them too well, because typically you run Lucario offensively. If you're a man and you run defensive Lucario, I applaud you. But as far as typing goes, fighting and steel type, it does give us a poison immunity. We are hit neutrally by psychic and fairy type moves, which is unfortunate. We do have a fighting, ground and fire weakness because of our steel typing, and flying types we are neutral to as well. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but I feel like Lucario's valuability, that's a word, right? Valuability, the ability to be valuable, its value, that's probably the word I was looking for. I think Lucario's value definitely exceeds the fact that it does have a bit more weaknesses than you'd like. So Lucario here has the steadfast ability. If this Pokemon flinches, the speed is raised by 1 stage. We do also have the inner focus ability, which we cannot flinch. We're immune to intimidate as well, which is really nice. Typically, if a person brings in against Lucario, they're going to try to intimidate it. Inner focus prevents that intimidate. And then we also do have Justified, which our attack is raised by 1 after it is damaged by a dark type move. So while Dhelmise is weak to dark type, we do resist dark type because of our fighting typing, and we do get Justified boost based on top of there. So let's go ahead and talk about its stats. It has, like I said, I'm not going to speak on it too defensively. I definitely think Lucario is much more of a offensive Pokemon, so that's what I'll speak to right now. It's got base 90 speed, which is really nice. We obviously get outspeed by anything higher than that, but as you guys can see, we've got Ribombee next, so we do have web support on this team, which is nice for things like Sandaconda, Kommo-o, Milotic, potentially even Dhelmise. But we do have access to sticky webs, and Lucario, in my opinion, is a fantastic webs abuser. A fantastic webs abuser. 110 base attack, 115 base special attack. It's got priority. It's got setup. I mean, this Pokemon, let's go on ahead and kind of get into it. So we do have access to agility, boosting our speed by 2. We have access to Aura Sphere, Blaze Kick, Brick Break, Bulk Up, Bullet Punch, Calm Mind, Close Combat, Cross Chop, Crunch, Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, Drain Punch, Earthquake, Extreme Speed, Flash Cannon, Focus Blast, High Jump Kick, Ice Punch, Life Dew, Low Kick, Meteor Mash, Nasty Plot, Poison Jab, Power Up Punch, Psychic, Quick Attack, Rest, Rock Slide, Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw, Sleep Talk. Steel Beam is huge. Substitute, Swords Dance, Thunder Punch, and Bone Rush, Bulldoze, Counter, Final Gambit. I mean, this thing is Howl. I mean, it's a great Pokemon. It's a great Pokemon, in my humble opinion. It's Vacuum Wave. That's what else I was looking for. Vacuum Wave. It's a great Pokemon to abuse webs on. Provides us with a ton of different priority as well. And I think if I had to say right now, if there's a Pokemon I'd anticipate to be like our kill leader, I would say Lucario. Lucario is a Pokemon that I find I'm very comfortable with, and that's all we can really ask for. Next up here, Ribombee. Ribombee I actually drafted 2nd overall because I wanted a solid fairy type. Not only that, I knew I wanted some speed control. I knew in my mind, in my heart of hearts, I wanted some speed. Ribombee gives us just that. In 2 ways. First off, let's go ahead and talk about its abilities. Honey Gather has no competitive use. Sweet Veil, the Pokemon cannot fall asleep. Shield Dust. That's why people use Ribombee. Shield Dust. Pokemon is not affected by the secondary effect of another Pokemon's attack. What does that mean, Chase? That means, for example, Pokemon that use Fake Out. We can get hit first, but we're not going to get flinched by it. If there is, let's say, I'll use an example that's coming right off the top of my head. Dynamic Punch. Dynamic Punch has a 100% chance to confuse a Pokemon. If we get hit by a Dynamic Punch, we're not confused. If we get hit by a Nuzzle, we're not paralyzed. If we get hit, the plot twist to this is Mold Breaker. So like Mold Breaker, Excadrill can go for Rock Slide or Iron Head. And if we leave either of those, then we get flinched because of that. But outside of Mold Breaker, Shield Dust is a great ability, which allows us to pretty much immediately get up. As far as it goes, it's very fast, 124 base speed. I believe it's our fastest Pokemon that we have drafted. Double check. Yes, it is the fastest Pokemon that we drafted. Yes, so Ribombee is our fastest Pokemon at base 124. It's got a base 95 special attack, and it's pretty frail otherwise, but there is some resolve to that. I'll go on ahead and scroll down to it. We do have access to Setup and Quiver Dance, which is really nice. I think Ribombee did get really hit hard with the removal of hidden powers, because typically Quiver Dance, Fairy, Bug, Hidden Power, and you were good to go. With losing that in this gen, I still like it because it's a very fast sticky web supporter. It does have access to sticky webs. It does have access to fast screens, and it does have access to a few other moves. So let's go ahead and talk about it. It is a cleric with aromatherapy. It can baton pass as well. and Bug Buzz. I don't know why we'd ever Calm Mind instead of going for Quiver Dance, but it's got Calm Mind. Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball. We did discuss that it does have access to screens. It has access to Moonblast, Psychic. It does get the Sticky Web. Stun Spore is another way that we can get some speed control as well. Being able to Stun Spore, 75% accurate, and it paralyzes the target, which is nice. It does get access to Switcheroo and Trick, which both do the exact same thing, but if we ever want to do that, it does have U-Turn Momentum as well. The usually useless moves. Let's look down here really quickly. Pollen Puff. Pollen Puff over Bug Buzz, actually. Yeah. Bug Buzz, actually, they both do the same thing. Never mind. So, Pollen Puff is there. We can get Skill Swap. Skill Swap I've seen used very sparingly, so if it ever does, that ever is advantageous to us, we can go for there. Swap Speed Stat with the target. We get Speed Swap if we ever want to make something really fast. I don't know why we'd want to do that, but we do get that. We can set up Sun, we can Thief, things along those lines. So pretty much everything's up here that we need to worry about. But it's fast, it provides speed control, it has some really good setup opportunities, and Fairy is pretty unresisted, in my opinion. So that's going to be our first 6 that we've got right here for the draft analysis. Let's go on ahead and hop down here. This is where we start grabbing a little bit more of our free Pokemon. I actually think, let me just double check here. Yeah, these are our 4 C tier Pokemon. So after we drafted, we saw the Gigantamax, the S tier, the A tier, and the 3 B tiers. We're gonna go down here into the C tier. This is pretty much the bucket of everything else. So first step here, we've got Braviary. Braviary is a pretty solid Pokemon, normal and flying type. So it does give us a ground immunity. It does give us a ghost immunity as well, which is really nice. We do have 3 abilities, one of which isn't probably going to be used Keen-Eye, but Sheer Force, if we are offensive, Pokemon's attacks with secondary effect have 3 times the power, which is nice. Then we also have Defiant. Defiant, in my opinion, pairs very nicely with Ribombee, because typically what you're going to see is somebody's going to attempt to go for a Defog. That Defog is going to boost our Defiant. Same thing with our Milotic Competitive as well. It is going to give us a +2 attack stat. That being said, Braviary is another Pokemon that can also abuse those webs with base 80 speed. We are going to be able to outspeed a lot more Pokemon with webs than without. But we've got base 100 HP, 123 attack. This Pokemon is pretty keen for like a sub setup set with base 123 attack. It's got base 75 defense and special defense, so that is there. And then 57 special attack isn't the most ideal, but you'll see what I want to talk about here in just a second. So that being said, we do have a lot more access. It will more than likely be a physical Pokemon, but it does have some decent special moves as well, which I'll talk about. But it's got access to set up with agility, Brave Bird, bulk up, close combat. It is a hazard removal. It does provide hazard removal with Defog. Excuse me. Provides hazard removal with Defog. It does have access to Facade on the off chance we go for a bulk up and something goes for a Will-O-Wisp. We do get double that power. It does get access to Heat Wave. This is the special coverage that I was kind of referring to, where if a Pokemon appreciates, so for example, like Ice type Pokemon, Heat Wave does really, really nicely against like bulky Ice type Pokemon come to mind. It gets access to set up with Hone Claws. It gets Iron Head. It does get access to Rock Slide. Shadow Claw. It does give us a little bit more speed control with Tailwind as well, which is really nice. Being able to use from out of there. Whirlwind can phase out Pokemon as well as then Headbutts. I think anything under here is too prevalent. Let me just double check. Rock Tomb for more speed control, which can also be very nice. And it does get access to Work Up as well. So I definitely like Braviary. I think it could be a great benefit to our team. I think it provides us another Sticky Web abuser, as well as removal of those Sticky Webs, being able to abuse that with something like Defiance. So I like Braviary. Next up here, the memeiest electric type Pokemon. So as we went through the draft, I really wanted to get a good fast electric type Pokemon. Like Raichu, it went. I was like Manectric, it went. I was like regular Rotom, it went. It was either I think Rotom Fridge or Rotom Fan, and I felt like Rotom Fan was... They're both going to have a weakness to rocks either way. I'd rather get the one that gets the move that's more accurate. So we've got Rotom Fan here. Levitate and Flying type means that we never get hit by an Earthquake ever, unless somebody clicks Smackdown. But does Smackdown remove Levitate? I'm going to have to test that out. But as you guys can see, base 86 speed. It's got some pretty good defense, special attack, and special defense. Base 86 speed. It's another Pokemon that can pretty much, that does enjoy abusing webs as well, and it's okay. It's okay as far as the speed tier goes. But Levitate, immune to ground type moves. Oh, here we go. Gravity, Ingrain, Smackdown, Nullify it. So Smackdown. Yeah, there we go. That's how we get that. So glad Showdown included that there. Air Slash, 95% accuracy with 30% chance to flinch. It does get access to Dark Pulse, Discharge, Foul Play, Hex, Hyper Voice. It does also get screens, which is nice. It does, I believe Nasty Plot is brand new this generation. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen it before, but Rotom getting access to Nasty Plot while being able to abuse webs could be very beneficial to us. It does get access to Shadow Ball. It does get access to Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave, Volt Switch, Trick, and Will-O-Wisp. One of the few Pokemon that really does a lot as a utility, in my opinion. And I've used regular Rotom before. I don't think there's going to be any difference in using Rotom Fan, other than I do need to keep in mind that Rock's weakness, but we'll go from there. Let me just double check to make sure there's not anything interesting down here that it might get access to. Thunder. There we go. Perfect. Done. Sold. So, yeah. Fast Electric type Pokemon. Got access to some cool moves. Another Web Abuser. Provides some support. I believe it lost Defog. That's right. So we have Braviary as one of our defoggers. And then we have a spinner in the form of Dhelmise here. So let's go ahead and talk about Turtonator here. I've used Turtonator before in a tier 3 and below league. It's good. It's good. It's slow. So hopefully we can do some stuff with webs. But fire and dragon typing. I needed a fire type for the team. It was either this or I think Colossal out of the bin, which I was looking at. So I'm a Turtonator. Turtonator does not share a 4 times weakness like it does, like the Colossal does. So that is good. It does provide us with another dragon type Pokemon, which dragon typing is pretty solid to have, in my humble opinion. Got an incredible base defense of 135, so it provides us a little bit more of a backbone. Got decent special defensive stats with the typing that it does have, gives us a little bit more natural special defensive bulk. Base 78 attack and base 91 special attack, base 36 speed. So, shell armor, we can't be crit, which is always a good thing to have. Go ahead and talk about its moves. It's got 135 base defense. The body press is going to hurt. It does get access to bulk up, body slam, Draco Meteor, Dragon Claw, Dragon Pulse, Earthquake, Explosion, Facade, Fire Blast, Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, Focus Blast, Head Smash, Heat Wave, Heavy Slam, Hyper Voice, Iron Head, Outrage, Overheat, Protect. It did get Rapid Spin this generation, which is really cool. So we have 3 forms of hazard removal. Let's get access to set up with Shell Smash, Stone Edge, Sub, Taunt, Will-O-Wisp. Let's see here. Bulldoze to get access to set up with Curse, which could be very beneficial to us in some opinion, and in some situations potentially. Sets up with Iron Defense as well. Shell Trap is a signature move that it gets. If we get hit by a physical type move, we're already slow as is, so if we're already going to take a hit, let's go for Shell Trap to toss off a base 150 fire type move, which is really nice. It gets access to Solar Beam, Stomping Tantrum. It can set up its own sun, which is nice, and it gets set up to work up as well. So, like I said, we're in the bottom of the barrel now. We're starting to reach around, grasp for some straws, but I think Turtonator is really cool. I think another form of hazard removal that not a lot of people know about is really nice as well. And being able to set up with things like Shell Smash with Sticky Webs could prove to be beneficial as well. Even just going for Rapid Spin, being able to get that speed boost on some Pokemon could be beneficial to us. But our last Pokemon here is Vileplume. I needed a Fairy Resist, really, and Vileplume was the answer here. So taking a look at its abilities. Effect Spore, 30% chance of Poison Paralysis or Sleep on contact. We also do have Sunny Day, where if it's active, the speed is doubled. So if we were ever cheeky and ran Sun, or if we go against somebody that has Sun, we could potentially run a Chlorophyll Vileplume. But either way, 50 base speed Chlorophyll isn't that threatening, but Chlorophyll in Sun, maybe. But either way, we've got pretty good bulk. 75 HP, 80 attack, or excuse me, 85 defense, 90 special defense, 110 special attack. So it looks really nice on paper. We're going to see how it works. I was really more so sold on it because it got a lot of different coverage moves and access to strength stat, but let's go ahead and talk about it. It does get cleric abilities with things like Aromatherapy. It does get access to Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball, Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Moonblast, Moonlight. Does get access to Sleep Powder as well. Sludge Bomb and Sludge Wave are both really nice to have in this gen. Solar Beam if we were able to set up the Sun. Strength Sap, which is really nice. At our HP, if the target has a strong attack, we go for Strength Sap. We drop their attack by 1 and get Recovery, which is a really nice move, in my humble opinion. Stun Spore. You know, Swords Dance Vileplume, don't tempt me. Toxic is really nice. A lot of Pokemon lost access to Toxic this gen. Vileplume getting access to Toxic is really cool. And because it's a Poison-type Pokemon, Toxic doesn't miss. So that's very nice to have. Let me just double check through here. It can set up grassy terrain, which might be beneficial at some points. Pollen Puff if we ever need a Bug-type move. There's Sunny Day. Heater Dance, being able to confuse the opponent's Pokemon. Things like that. So that's our team. That is our team for WBE. We can, of course, make drafts and transactions and all that fun stuff, but that's the team. I like it. Am I like the most confident that this is the best team I've ever had? No. No. Am I confident that we'll maybe do well? Yeah, why not? Why not? We're going up against Wolf Quick week 1, so maybe the next 7 weeks after they'll do well, but we're going up against Wolf week 1. Milwaukee Bewares. Be there, be square. If you guys have enjoyed the draft analysis, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about the team, leave them in the comment section down below. If you guys are new, checking out all the coaches for the WBE. Hi, my name is CBAD. I'd love to have you on the channel. Daily Pokemon uploads. And if you guys like this video, feel free to leave a like on it as well. All that being said, I want to remind you guys to be great and do great. And I'll see you all in the next video. Later.